So first big question, what makes our bodies function properly in the first place? Well, I used to think the brain was in charge of every single thing that happened in the human body, but that's not true. Lots of processes in our bodies are actually directed chemically through tiny chemical messengers like hormones, enzymes, and DNA. Never thought of DNA as a messenger? Well, turns out it is. So what's the message? Well, the message we get from DNA is actually the complete basic programming every single cell needs in order to start out on the right foot. This basic programming is kind of like the body's ideal state, like a clean slate. If we lived in a bubble separated from everything else in the world, the basic programming might be all we need, but that's not how life works. That's where the other chemical messengers come in, like hormones and enzymes. DNA always stays close to home, inside our cells, but these other chemical messengers travel through the bloodstream and pass along information to our cells by linking up with tiny little access points on the outside of cells called cellular receptors. And while DNA mainly focuses on the basic programming, these other messengers mainly focus on telling our cells how to properly respond to the things around them, the things in our environment. By the way, cellular receptors and chemical messengers don't exactly come up in everyday conversation for most people, and that's because we're actually getting into some biochemistry here. I know it might sound a little intimidating at first, but it's really not bad at all. And seriously, if you haven't looked into biochemistry before, you really should check it out. It's fascinating. Cellular communication, cell signaling. Anyway, let's picture a cell. Now, imagine there is a little keyhole on the outside of the cell. Cellular receptors are kind of like keyholes, and different types of cells have different types of keyholes. Now, each chemical messenger has a particular chemical composition, like the different chemicals that make it up. And the chemical composition of each messenger works like a key. Different messengers are made up of different chemicals, so it's like they're carrying around different keys. When a messenger runs into a cell it has a key for, the receptor opens up and lets it deliver the message. If the message needs to get sent out to the rest of the organ or the entire body, then the cell sends its own chemical messengers out to spread the word to make sure our body continues to function correctly. Here's an example. Let's say some unfriendly bacteria make their way inside the body. It's our chemical messengers who give the immune system a heads up so they can start fighting off the infection. When nothing gets in the way between the cells and the chemical messengers, then our cells, and our entire bodies, are able to function exactly the way they're supposed to. But when the message gets blocked, we start running into trouble.